Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about why codependents often end up in romantic partnerships with narcissists. And in order to fully understand why this happens time and again, we first need to take a closer look at how codependency develops. So, the term narcissistic abuse was originally developed to define the emotional abuse of a child living under the wrath of a narcissistic parent. As you can imagine in this scenario, the child has learned early on in life to give up his or her own priorities and own sense of self in order to serve and cater to their parent. And at such a young and impressionable age, children rely on their parents, right? They rely on their caregivers. And so this becomes the norm to them, and they never really get that ability to fully appreciate what a normal relationship looks like. So when these individuals enter into adulthood, they're subconsciously drawn to this narcissistic personality type. They continue to need to serve others, and they really have no clear, defined, healthy sense of self at that point. So narcissists immediately see this. It's definitely on their radar, and they will zero in on these individuals and target them because they realize that they're the least likely to question their sadistic game. They're the least likely to pack their bags should they realize that, they're being used and abused, and that, all of these qualities that the narcissist has said that has attracted them to this individual, the narcissist really doesn't care about. They just really care about trapping the codependent and ensuring that they won't leave. So even when the relationship goes from idealize to devalue, and there's no longer these great compliments that are coming from the narcissistic partner, there's no longer any appreciation for the target at all. And instead, all of the compliments and different good sentiments of the narcissist have been replaced with complaints and criticism, and gaslighting. The codependent will, instead of saying, "Hey, dude, this isn't right. You can't treat me like this," and go find a new partner, they'll follow along and play into this game, and they'll think that they can actually please the narcissistic partner and get them to go back to the idealized stage, or go back to the compliments and the mutual respect if they serve the narcissist. So they'll play along and they'll actually feed into what the narcissist wants. So if the narcissist wants to move, the codependent will pack and move with him or her. If the narcissist wants to change jobs, the codependent will support him. If the narcissist wants this individual to stay home, they'll stay home. It's whatever the narcissist wants and whatever is going to make the narcissist happy, because when the narcissist is happy, the codependent believes that they will be happy. So this is why it's very difficult for an individual who is codependent to escape narcissistic abuse once they've entered into this scenario. And also why if by some divine intervention or some very trusting and caring, close friend or family member actually convince this person to leave, they'll likely re-enter the same situation time and again. So basically, what we can do as individuals who realize that this abuse exists, and it's not right, and that codependents are especially at risk of living with these individuals, is we can just try to knowledge share and encourage them, and make them, feel like they are worthy, build up their self-esteem, and make them realize that, they do have these wonderful talents and traits, and they can live fully on their own. So knowledge truly is power, and if we break the silence, we can break the cycle. Thanks. Please share.